and perform really well on that Xin Zhao. Galio ban as well, so they're literally just banning the champions that were played in the previous game. I'm not too sure if this is going to work out though.
I mean, if they do that, I mean, it kind of forces them into picking some spicier picks, I suppose. So we may get a Vago pick. We may get a Vago pick. So Viego pick. But again, we have the Yasuo ban on the side of Subsidiary and the Lilia again. They do not want this Lilia to come through in the jungle. But yeah, I kind of hope that blue team do ban out the Hecarim. I hope they don't try and pick it again and try and do something with it. If they do, I want a drastic change of the team comp that kind of works around the Hecarim, not kind of Hecarim works into that team comp, but they ban out the Jax instead. So they are still going along that line of banning out game one's team comp of Subsidiary. And I mean, if you can't beat it, you may as well ban it, right?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, if you know you're going to lose 2-0 to that same team comp, why not just ban them all away anyway? It's a bit interesting approach to it, to be fair, because the thing is now it just leaves so many power picks open. So many power picks open. The question is now, do you pick the Hecarim? And I feel like if you don't pick the Hecarim, then it's just going to be picked on the side of Subsidiary, where they're just going to pick it up. They're just going to be like, okay, Bambi, you play the Hecarim this game, and you show them how it's done.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Bambi was probably one of the highlight players of that game one. To be honest, they do go for the Camille, however, so insta lock in the Camille this time around. I think it was actually Camille Prio pick one, wasn't it, on the side of next gen? Then it was followed by the Hecarim, I think, in game one. But a little bit of a different scene on the side of Subsidiary here. We could be getting a bit of a bizarre first pick, but. I thought they would change that into the Renekton. So will this be Renekton up into the top lane to go against the Camille this time? Or will we get that Renekton either in the mid jungle? He is a flexible little reptile.
Reptile, crocodile. He's a bit of a scary crocodile though at the same time. I wouldn't like a Renekton. Yeah. I wouldn't like a Renekton running towards me, that's for sure.
Only if I had his blade. Only if I had his blade, then I'd be like, you know what? I can take him.
You can take him.
Yeah, the British would come out in me. I'm like, you know what? Come on then, square up.
Well, we'll go to a Zooblam, and then you can get a blade against a crocodile. We'll see who wins.
IRL Twitch stream. Let's go.
We'll see who wins the crocodile blam. Find out next time on the next episode. But Lee Sin going to be the pickup for Bambi. Again, a really strong pick that has been banned quite a few times today. Again, a champion that's still really strong in this meta. Really strong outplay potential. Early game is still really strong as well. And that Ornn, which was banned in game number one as well, also being picked up. I'm really curious to see where this Ornn is going to be played. I would assume it's Ornn support, as that's kind of his preferred role now. He doesn't really get used as a Baron laner anymore. He kind of gets used for his utility and his crowd control in that bot lane. And Vi as well for the lockdown. So a lot of lockdown and a lot of crowd control here for the side of 3BL. To go against Subsidiary here, which they did in game number one. They did have a little bit of lockdown as well and so much dive, but that is the perfect AD carry to play against that comp if it does get picked up here. The Xayah, the ultimate, can deny so much engage here from the likes of Camille, the Vi, and even the Ornn. And will it get picked up? It will. Great pickup here for the Team Turkey.
Yeah, so just a brief overview of what they've picked up so far. So what's going to be influencing the second stage of the ban. So neither of the teams really have a mid lane locked in. So we could see some of that mid lane pool get run down here. Obviously, ADC over to the side of next gen hasn't been picked yet. So again, we could probably be seeing that up on Subsidiary side. And then over to what's not being filled onto Subsidiary is the support and obviously again the mid lane. So we see the likes of the oh my god, why is his name just left me? Vladimir. Jeez, man. Vladimir comes through. I was going to call him Sanguine Pool for some reason, but I was like, no, that's his ability, you idiot. Anyway, the Vladdy Daddy gets picked in the bans, and then Kaiser again. So no Kaiser mid lane, no Kaiser ADC. So again, a good flex ban towards the end of the draft to kind of start to aim at the ADC bands on the side of Subsidiary, and we're getting that Nautilus pick again. So coming through, we saw it kind of briefly hovered in selection 1, but then waited for further on down the line. So the Nautilus coming through as the support to complement the Xayah there as well. So I feel like that's going to be a good pickup.
Yeah, really good tank to support again to kind of protect the Xayah. As you mentioned, you know, that dive is going to be really, really big here for next gen with the Camille and the Vi. But Nautilus is such a big tanky support, and it's very difficult to try and break through. Jinx is an interesting one.
We're going for the arcane cast.
I feel like this could be Ornn Baron lane, Camille mid, and then we get Jinx maybe an Enchanter bot lane. Or is it Syndra mid? This is a weird pickup. Normally with Jinx, you really need an Enchanter support with the Jinx to keep her alive, because she's not really a support that does well with any other kind of support. You know, you don't really pair Jinx with champions like Nautilus or Ornn or any champions like that. You really want an Enchanter to buff up Jinx, to make her that unkillable late game monster that she can become. With also Arcane, also she was also a monster that she became herself as well, but not being picked up. Just the Ornn and the Jinx combo in the end, and the last pick here going to be Ahri in the mid lane. So overall team cons have now been rounded out. We can see here Renekton against Camille, Vi against Lee Sin, Syndra, Ahri, and then Jinx, Xayah, Ornn, and Nautilus. Mid lane battle is going to be an interesting one as well, though. Very skill shot reliant. Ahri versus Syndra is all going to be about the balls, really. The ball for Ahri and also the balls of Syndra to see whose balls are bigger, I guess.
Yeah, for lack of better words, whose balls will be bigger, Syndra or Ahri's? We all yet to see. Yeah, I mean, the first clash off is Blam against the crocodile the size of Renekton, and then the second clash off is Ahri and Syndra with the ball test. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that mid lane against those two. So again, a bit of a... I'm going to say I favor the red draft a little bit more on this side. Again, no affiliation with Subsidiary, but it seems like the red side seems to have just a little bit of a kick to the draft compared to the side of blue team, because like you say, Jinx not being paired with an Enchanter support, it's gonna be interesting to see how this Ornn helps the Jinx come through. I mean, you may get the knockups and stuff like that may enable to Jinx get the kills, which then activates her passive, which then basically is... If you can utilize that, you can become a snowball and potentially get like a team wipeout with the Jinx. But it's all a little bit of if buts and maybes with that Ornn pick. We could have seen a great Enchanter support pick come through with the Jinx.
Yeah, like you said, it's really if Jinx can get that kill and get the passive. I think if Jinx can get the kill and get the passive, then Jinx can definitely pop off in the rest of the fight. It's being able to get that first kill. That's really what you need as kind of that momentum for Jinx. If you get the kill, then great. That's fantastic. You're able to get the kill and get that huge advantage. But the problem is that you're going to struggle to really get that first kill. You know, you kind of have the lockdown of the likes of Ahri, Nautilus, Renekton diving onto you, Lee Sin as well. And as we've mentioned, you don't have that Enchanter support by your side to be able to buff them up, to be able to heal the Jinx, to be able to shield them. You know, someone like a Lulu, for example, you know, them shields and that extra bit of HP that Lulu can give to Jinx really makes a big difference to keep her alive and trying to get that first kill and get the resets afterwards. But obviously we'll have to wait and find out to see what happens when the games starts things off. But overall, super exciting. Hopefully we get a 3-game series. We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I mean, the Lee Sin, you know for a fact the biggest targets for Lee Sin is going to be the Syndra and the Jinx, because if you don't pick those out, if you then go in with your first ability, even if you sort of try and go in and flank it back out, you could then get hit by the Hextech Ultimatum, you could get hit by Ornn's knockup, and that just like, even though it's a brief knockup, it completely knocks out the tempo of Lee Sin's escapability, but also playmakeability as well. So he's got to be really reliant on making sure that Renekton can kind of single target CC either the Jinx or keep the Vi and the Camille away from the Lee Sin while he just does his thing. And then the same with Ari as well, obviously, with her charm. So there's a lot of single target CC on the side of the red team. I think that's what I kind of like, because you've got the playmaker of the Lee Sin, but then you've also got the single lockdown of Renekton. You've got Ari, you've got Nautilus as well, but then you've also got Zaya's recall of her feathers from her ultimate that obviously if they land they will CC as well. So yeah, I mean there's a lot there to unpack on the red team, whereas over onto the blue team it seems like they just want to hope that the Syndra and Jinx can do as much damage as possible into the team fights with such a strong front line, like with the Camille, the Vi, and the Ornn.
Yeah, I think they have, good catch potential with this Syndra. I think if someone like a Lee Sin or Renekton steps a bit too far, or even Xayah and Ahri as well, Syndra is the champion that has really good catch potential, being able to stun champions, and also just has a lot of single target damage as well, which can be negated by things like Xayah's ultimate. I think if you do catch that stun, and again, all that Jinx need is not even one kill, just one takedown. Jinx gets one auto attack off, and then Syndra just bursts her down. Then Jinx gets a passive and starts to run rampant around the team fight. But hopefully we'll get into the game shortly. We're just waiting for a 3-minute delay at the moment in the game to make sure that we have nice competitive integrity between these two teams. But this could be the last game of today already. The winner of this game will go on to face France in tomorrow's semi-final, which will be happening off stream, and we already know it's CIS versus Spain tomorrow, which we watch in on stream in the semi-final, and then the grand final afterwards. So a lot of Wild Rift to look forward to over the next few days, but for now we got to focus on this game to see if Mina can bounce things back, or if Turkey can get that 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, I was just thinking then, depending on which one of these teams actually win, from what we've seen so far, do you reckon it's actually going to be a big matchup for the French team? Because, I mean, even the game one was a stomp, and it was a stomp for the reason because the French team was just on point.
I think the big thing is that with the French team, they definitely have a lot of experience in their squads, and they have, but sometimes they can play a little bit over aggressive. We did see that there were kind of opportunities really in the previous game by Germany to kind of turn things around, which maybe one of these two squads can actually look to try and get an advantage of. But we'll have to obviously wait and see, when that happens. But I think France could, in my opinion, take down either one of these two teams, whatever team wins out in the end. Bit of a lane swap that happened here, though. Very interesting.
Flashback.
By Mina, the Jinx and the Ornn going in the Baron lane.
Just seeing those supports up into the Baron lane, I was just like, oh, hold on. This was meta like a year ago. I'm getting flashbacks, almost PTSD from seeing automatically the supports go up into that Baron lane there. But Renekton lands onto the Jinx there. Plenty of CC onto the Jinx, and then Bambi coming in with a clean interception there from Lee Sin. That was beautifully done, but he's got to be careful. Vi, Syndra are very close by as well. We got Nakamura with the rotate as well. Is this going to come through with a charm onto the Ornn as well? So a second pickup for Subsidiary already, a third pickup for Subsidiary already, and Bambi's just having fun with Syndra. Her balls are not carrying weight to the Lee Sin just yet.
Oh, this is just domination, isn't it, from Turkey? The hook lands 4-0 already in this early game. The Jinx gets caught out. What we were mentioning during the draft, that Jinx can still get caught out and still die, and that is not what you're looking for as a start here for Mina. You really wanted that early game lead. You wanted really these kills onto the Jinx, but in the end, it's actually the Ahri and the Lee Sin. That mobility from Bambi, as I was talking about, the Lee Sin as an early game champion, still one of the strongest in the game. That mobility, being able to jump around during them little skirmishes in the early game, is the big difference this time around. And that has put the Jinx behind, unfortunately, in this early game. And it's going to be rough now for the Jinx to try and come back.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an unlucky pick there for the Jinx. Ornn already suffered quite a lot of damage dealt up in that top lane as well, where we see that both of the duos have finally decided to go around, where it's not Renekton going against the Jinx up there. We have now Xayah has joined the party, so no more diving in. Single CC from the Renekton, but speaking of diving in, a little bit of an overstep there by Ornn, and he gets taken down by the Nautilus. Unfortunately, once again, for next gen, they are not having next gen fun. It is pretty much a onslaught. 3 minutes in, 5 kills up, and they're having their way with this top lane turrets. Vi getting pulled all the way because of Bambi there, and back in re-engage. A little bit of a 1-1 trade there for for Camille, sorry. There's that all knock up, getting double knock up onto the Renekton, onto the Lee Sin. Lee Sin just waiting for that golden moment, but is it ever going to come? The Renekton is going to fall. He tries to take down the Camille. He manages to pick up the kill on the Camille, but can Syndra's balls be enough this second time? It is, and they do get the takedown on the Lee Sin. However, they lose the Baron Lane turret already.
Baron Lane tower going down before the first objective spawn, and that is so much gold now onto this Xayah. This bot lane just got even more difficult now for this Jinx. This Jinx really needed that early game lead, and you can't fall behind as this Jinx, especially against this team comp as well, because you need that damage, you need that extra bit of protection. But right now it is Turkey completely dominating this game, and it looks like a long road back here for Mina to try and come back into this. It's still early on, the first objectives haven't even spawned, but we are already looking at a 4,000 gold lead right now for Turkey. And you can see here the chain CC here onto the Nautilus, but it's not going to be enough in the end. The flash in the end just for the auto attack with the Nautilus. You catch the fire out, and hey, he's not done yet. Bambi dives underneath the tower as well, gets another kill, but the Camille with the flank is going to clean up one. The tower dives coming in. Can he clean up more? The ultimate comes in onto the Ori, but can you get even enough damage? You cannot. And Team Turkey just dive underneath the tower, and they don't even care about the objectives at the point. They are like, we want kills and we want them now.
Absolutely. I mean, with the death cooldown being so low at the moment, I think they can kind of afford to make that overestimated play there, especially from the Lee Sin getting battled down and run down by the Syndra. Obviously, you don't want to give too many kills over to Syndra in the mid lane, because obviously that damage starts to come through as she starts to get her items as well, and the more stacks on that first strike is going to be an issue for them, even though it's just been recently nerfed. They do pick up the Ocean Drake there as well, so Ocean Drake comes through, picked up for the side of Turkey once again. Ari having to recall because we're very low, but we see a little bit of an attempt here on that turret, but it has been put to bed straight away by Bambi. Bambi's like, go to sleep, and just completely decimated Harp on Hatabi on the Vi there. So nicely done by Bambi once again, showing his jungle prowess on both of these heroes, both of these champions like Jin Zhao and the Lee Sin.
Yeah, Bambi had a bit of a rough start in the early game in the first game, but this game he's on a champion that he's so comfortable with, and a champion that can just run away with the game. Such incredible performance so far. 2,000 gold lead in the jungle. Bambi is just dominating this game. The dragon was already taken. The Rift Herald's going to get taken as well. And the problem is that Mina cannot step up to this. Team Mina are just not in a position to even step forward, even to try and take their own jungle. Look at that. Their own jungle is just being taken away from them. And it's just domination right now from Turkey. Game one was a little bit shaky, but maybe they just needed that little bit of a warm-up, because this game is not looking close at all.
No, definitely not looking close, especially with that turret in the mid lane going down thanks to Shelly. And then we're seeing a little bit of a backline fight here. The dredge line comes through from the Nautilus onto the turret. Shelly does drop another hit onto that second tier turret as well, so that's going to be fatal for the side of MENA team currently. But Camille's just trying to get those minor little victories down in the bot lane there, it seems, because they managed to get that turret as well.
Two tier 2 tower. The second charge on the tier 2 tower is huge. The damage on the Baron lane tower as well is also huge. Bambi does need to be a little bit careful though. He's definitely playing with fire right now, trying to survive here against the Camille. The Camille actually diving back in the end, and oh no, Bambi's gone too far. That was a little bit too much there from Bambi. A little bit too overextended here, and the Ahri might be in a little bit of trouble as well. They need to be careful here of not making mistakes, but they have backup anyway. The Ahri knew that she had backup this whole time, and the Zyra is able to do enough damage in the end, and they're going for even more in the top lane as well. The damage from the Renekton, and that's a kill onto the Jinx. Okay, we have the Jinx's first kill. We still got a long way to go here for this Jinx, but that's a start at least.
It is a start, and I think it's a start that MENA team need to keep in this race, to be honest. And taking that Baron lane turret is going to be very helpful, obviously, in terms of gold. I believe the current plating is obviously now off there, so they didn't get any of that excessive gold from that turret plating. But like you said, it's now kind of closed the gap between that gold. The kills are sort of no longer too far away. It is only another good team fight on the side of MENA. Seeing Syndra on the 4-2 as well is kind of showing that Syndra is going to be the playmaker and the kill obtainer. But they found that kill obtainer. We see that Nautilus picks up the Syndra, and as well the double kill for the support player. Come on. For Nautilus there, picking up another kill onto the Yawn.
It's just not even, it's a slaughter at this point. I feel like it's an absolute slaughter at this point. The flash comes in from the Lee Sin, the Camille, like look at them. They're just diving underneath tier 2 towers now. They do not give a damn at all. They're going to do enough damage to take down another kill here, but they're on the wrong side of the map now. The Xayah does need to be a bit careful. Uses the ultimate a little bit too early as well, maybe predicting the Vi would ulti, and that does mean that the Xayah does go down. Maybe the Jinx can get another kill here as well. No, it actually goes over to the Ornn instead. But they do get a tier 2 tower in this bot side with the Ahri. With that dragon coming up as well, this could be an opportunity here where MENA can try and deny that dragon sowing. Try and take this objective if they can.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great effort there from the Ahri. I mean, we don't normally see a split push Ahri come through there, but it's definitely working on the side of Subsidiary. But what isn't working is that Renekton getting taken down just before the Dragon objective comes up there. So this would have been a great takedown here for Subsidiary Turkey, but I don't think it's going to be sort of the closing on their victory call in this match. They have great pushes in both the side lanes here as well, and all but Renekton are up here. So it's just all about sort of trying to make sure that Syndra doesn't get ahead anymore, because looking at the Vi, she doesn't seem like much of a threat. Currently sat on the 164 as well. Nakamura getting caught down here and locked down by that Hextech ultimatum, but it isn't going to be enough because her teammates just weren't too quick enough to act on that quip there. But Lee Sin, however, looking to push that Baron lane turret as well, picking up another second tier turret for Subsidiary, and Turkey do pick up their 5th turret, whilst MENA are currently sitting on 2.
Yeah, this gold lead right now, it's not as big as what I thought it would be, to be fair. There are maybe some opportunities in which 3BL can come back. I mean, the big thing right now, again, is Shadow. You know, Shadow has had an incredible performance this series, you know, considering how far behind his team has been in both of the games. He is kind of the one that, you know, you need to play around. If you're looking at 3BL here, you know, he's the only one with the gold lead, but there just keeps on being mistakes after mistakes at the moment. That's another flash down for the Ornn in the end. You can see how much damage the Syndra is doing, and you can see that Zine is trying to target the Syndra, but maybe he's gone a little bit too far. The Xayah in the back line as well gets hit with the Hextech ultimatum, but she still has the feathers to fall back on, and that's exactly what she did. She's trying to do enough damage for the Camille. She does enough damage for the Camille in the end, but everyone else is still alive. The charm to the Jinx in the end. The Zyra is doing damage to flash in as well, but the knock-up is there for the Ornn. And as I mentioned, Shadow is the shining light here for 3BL. Can Shadow win this 1v1? I mean, meanwhile, while this is all happening, Bland Renekton's in the bot lane.
Nakaruru was just there being like the shadow puppet, and then we got Radiance down in the bot lane, just like, you know what, just keep them preoccupied. I can get this inhibi. Don't worry about it. So Renekton's still approaching and abusing this inhibi, but he's got to be careful because Shadow is rotating around, and we know where all that damage comes from. It is that Syndra. Can he get in? He flashes in, dashes in, culling the Meek as well with that CC. And they pick up the second tier turret as well. So even though Radiance goes down, that was a beautiful play to take down the Syndra before going down himself.
That was disgusting, Rengar damage. What the hell did I just witness? The empowerment coming in huge there, giving the little bit of damage bonus. Does die as well, so it is a 1-for-1 trade. But I think, you know, Mina will take that for now. 1-for-1 trade. They were able to take that dragon before as well, so they actually denied away the dragon soul here for Team Turkey. And we're really just waiting for Jinx to get some items online, and also the Syndra as well. You can see Syndra's gone for a more defensive build with Crown of the Shattered Queen this game because she knows that she is the target this time around. She's delaying her death cap, but once I think Syndra gets this death cap online, and once Jinx gets 3 items, maybe, just maybe, there's a way for Mina to try and come back into this.
Yeah, you can kind of see that the Hail Mary play that 3BL are going for is the item calling, obviously, on Syndra, and then the same issue goes for Jinx as well. But it's also about maintaining the fact that they don't get wiped out, just like Nakaruru does just there in the blue side jungle. But Camille may be faltering here on a 2v1. The only person that can really do damage here onto the Camille is that Renekton, and Renekton is just trying to catch the Camille, manages to do that with the help of Nautilus as well. Could we see a kill, a jungle steal here, sorry, from the Lee Sin? But there's so much knockup, there's so much disruption to be had. The kick comes through onto Ornn, and then Zyra is now cleaning up as well. These low health champions on the side of 3BL flash over the wall with Nautilus and the Lee Sin as well. Dredgeline comes through. It looks like Renekton may be finishing off here because the next death timer up is the Camille in 10 seconds. Ornn coming around to try and stop, but the Nexus still has the shield.
Still has the shield. It is before 16 minutes, so that does mean the shield is going to be coming down. But that was a 2 versus 4 blam in that Baron fight. It was Bambi and Cappuccino against the world, and they were able to come out on top. But maybe, just maybe, they've got a bit too far here with the Camille Hextech ultimatum. But the feathers again for Cappuccino is enough to lock down the Camille and do enough damage. And Camille was maybe the one that went a little bit too far. But as I was mentioning, Blam, you know, that 2 versus 4 at that Baron buff was such an incredible play by both Bambi and Cappuccino to kind of delay the engage there for 3BL and allow the team to come and finish off the fight for them. And the Baron buff was not even taken in the end as well. And even though with that gold lead now, we have 3 items for that Jinx, we're hopeful that maybe that Syndra can get the death camp soon. And all we need now is just 1 kill on this Jinx, and Mina have an opportunity to come back into this game. But they have to try and shut down this Xayah because she is doing so much damage this game.
Yeah, the main focus for 3BL in these matchups is definitely the Xayah and even the Lee Sin, because they found a way to shut down the Ahri, so Nakamura. He's overstepped aggressively one too many times, and has definitely met his maker more times than he should have. But the Dredgeline comes through there. Vi tries to escape with the Vault Breaker as well. State is coming through onto the Ahri to keep her still there, so she can still burst down some of these low health champions coming through. That is a 2-1 trade for the side of Subsidiary, and they are marching the minions down in the farm lane there. Renekton trying to pick off CC the Syndra, but picks up Jinx instead, and Syndra picks up the Xayah, but is it going to be enough? The Camille and Syndra are the last bastion here for the Nexus, and they do manage to pull it off because they don't have the Lee Sin, they don't have the Renekton. It's all relying on the Nakamura and Zine on the Nautilus.
This Syndra is doing so much damage right now. It is crazy. They need to find a way, Turkey, right now to try and shut down this Syndra, which is going to be extremely difficult. But you saw there, as you mentioned, it was a 2-for-1 trade, and they were try to go for the finish, but the wave clear from the Syndra, there's so much damage happening with her balls right now because of how much she's able to do in these team fights, and now it's going towards the Elder Dragon. Mina, they need to be a bit careful here. They are going to start this off because they know the death timers of the Renekton and the Xayah, that they're both not going to be here. The TP's even coming in as well. Are they going to try and flip this?
I mean, if they can flip it, it's going to be for that Elder Drake. If they don't get the Elder Dragon, it's going to be pretty much game over, because it's not like Subsidiary need it, but yeah, it is all caught in here. Syndra doing loads of damage back in the queue there for Vi onto the Lee Sin to try and stop him taking down the Syndra. Syndra is still alive as well, alive and kicking. Can Renekton finish her off? No, the status comes through as well. Xayah manages to pick off the Ornn. It's currently a 3-2 trade. 3-3 trade has now been equalized here. Shadow is still alive, and down comes the Jinx ult straight onto Lee Sin, so there is no smite on either of these teams. But look at that troublesome red minion wave at the Nexus as well. That is not going to be the game ender, but they've just held off a little bit longer there, 3BLF.
What an incredible team fight that was for both teams. The Ori just stepping up a little bit too far there, Nakamura, ulting over the wall and then just getting locked down straight away. But the Syndra damage was so insane. Pretty much just one-shot Ori, and Ori wasn't able to escape because of that Hextech ultimatum. But then Renekton on the flank. Again, this Renekton is just doing so much damage with this empowerment. And even though Renekton was like 1 HP, was able to basically take Syndra out of the fight, which meant that Syndra couldn't really walk back and do enough damage. But now you're seeing this Jinx start to get online as well. You can see if Jinx is able to get a kill, able to get a stack of a passive, it's able to be enough. But this is not the end of the game just yet. We still have one more team fight to go. There is a bit of an exchange happening in mid lane here, and there's the engage that goes in.
The engage definitely goes in there. We saw that 3BL have managed to close that gold deficit ever so slightly now. It was well away from them, but it's now just a mere stretch away. But it's that late game. So again, it's probably not going to be the be-all, end-all here if they do manage to people close it here. We see that Renekton's already gone down. Nautilus soaking so much damage. We got Ahri being chased by the Camille, so Ahri's out of that whole situation. So no damage from that mid lane, and there's the super mega death rocket come through, landing straight onto Ahri. Is this going to be enough? Oh, okay. Camille shuts down the Ahri as well. So 3BL are definitely still in this. They are pulling out everything here to try and stay in this best of 3. And Syndra just absolutely nuking.
That was a complete one-shot by the Syndra. The Xayah didn't even have enough time to do anything. Didn't even have enough opportunity as well. And Shadow is completely popping off this game. I was mentioning how he was kind of the shining light for this Mina team in game number 1. And in game number 2, he is popping off. But I feel like Turkey, they had this game in their grasp. Turkey were able to win this game. They had such a big gold lead. It was near enough 10,000 gold. But they just kept on going in. They kept on making mistake after mistake after mistake, and was allowing Turkey to scale up. But there still could be one more team fight left. The Zenith is going to be a little bit caught out here at the moment. But look at the flank from the Ahri. This could be huge. What are you doing? What is going on? The Ahri's going to clean up the fight. They could just end the game now. Oh! What is Camille doing? The Camille stays on the Baron. And I don't even know why. What was the Camille doing? The jungler wasn't even nearby. No one was even close.
That's punishable by death there. That is pretty much going to be the curtain call there for 3BL Mina, because that Ahri just popped off in that final moment, paying back Syndra for all those bullying moments, and the Camille as well. And down goes the Nexus, and it is a 2-0 against you. It's been an easy 2-0 both games, but that last game between MENA and Turkey was definitely the closest we've had all evening.
Well, that was... What a game. What a game that was. It was so back and forth. There were times where Turkey was so far ahead. Mina had an opportunity to come back. They had so many pickoffs. Shadow was popping off again. This guy is out of this world. I mean, I've never seen this guy really perform before, or never really seen him compete anymore. But he proved in this series that he is an incredibly talented mid lane player. And honestly, like, they had the win there, Mina, as well, because Turkey were just making mistakes time and time again. They had the opportunity. But for some reason, like, I don't know what ZS was doing, because his whole team was over the other side of the Baron pit, and Camille is standing there just trying to finish off Baron when Vi is over the other side of the wall. Like, in that situation, just move away from Baron and don't even let the steal become an opportunity. Nakamura sees the opportunity, dashes over the wall, kills 3 members, steals the objective as well. Look at that gold swing. It was like an 8,000 gold lead for Turkey. And that comeback from Mina was huge. They even had a little bit, you can see a little bit of blue, that little bit of a gold lead they had. And then suddenly Ori steals the objective and it comes back. I mean, what an ending to an incredible series. Unfortunately, it wasn't 3 games. I would have loved a third